Hi guys, it's April, and it's the last wrap-up of 2017. So in the last 2 weeks, I've decided to take it a little slow. So this wrap-up isn't going to be extremely long, and I'm okay with that. I have, well, these books to talk about, and a few that I don't currently have physical copies of course, as always. This is only the last 2 weeks of December. I did a mid-December wrap-up. If you want to go check that out, I will link that down below. I read some pretty decent books in the first half of this month. The first book that I picked up was Tortals and Other Lands by Tamara Pierce. These are a bunch of short stories that fit into all of her different series. It is the book that rekindled my love for Tamara Pierce's series and kicked off my want to reread the whole Tortal series. I truly enjoyed it. I need a copy of it. Unfortunately, I don't currently own one. That'll be a thing for me to hunt down in 2018. My list is getting kind of long. Hazards of being a reader. But in these short stories, there's of course a whole bunch of different stories that are centered around several different characters that you know and don't know. My favorite story in the whole series is probably Kitten's story, where we get to see things from her perspective instead of Diane's and Numar's. It's interesting to see in the mind of a dragon. Then I picked up the first 2 volumes of Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is a graphic novel series that takes place, well, a lot of different places. This is a sci-fi graphic novel that jumps from planet to planet. You see all kinds of interesting creatures. It's odd, it's bizarre, it's interesting in a lot of different ways. While I did enjoy it, and Lion Cat is one of my favorite characters, there were parts where it felt like there wasn't a lot of thought put into the different species and the different characters. It was just off the cuff and let's see how bizarre we can make it. The storyline is intriguing, and I have the rest of the series, so we'll see how it goes. I then picked up Hunter, the Fallen One by C.L. Hagley. This is the story of a hostile takeover of Earth that is happening while no one is paying attention. There are several different schools set up to train to fight these invaders. One of these schools is a school for wealthy children. Here we follow Leon Hunter as he goes through his school days and starts to realize that students are going missing. Now, the premise of this book was fairly intriguing, which is why I picked it up in the first place. But as I started reading, flow of the plot just never really got there. It jumped and it jumped and it jumped, and plot just wasn't developed enough to hold my attention. And yes, I made it through all of the story, but I have no desire to continue on with the rest of the books, unfortunately. Then I got around to The Infinite by John Eckers. This is the story of Oris Pack, who is the founder of Omnitech, which invented these virtual reality, augmented reality glasses that have basically eliminated the need for desktop computing. Pax is facing the possibility of being kicked out of his own company. At the same time, there is this super virus that is starting to take out connected devices, and through it all, Pax is presented with a choice that could ultimately change what it means to be human. I did a full review over the story if you want to hear more words about what I have to say, but I really enjoyed reading this. It was good to read a story where the flow from one technology to the next made sense. I could follow how we got to where we were, and it also presented a lot of things for me to think about, especially with how we deal with technology and what all of those implications could be, what we just accept without really thinking about. Some of it's kind of scary. I then read Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. This is the continuation of The Monsters of Verity. Here we get to see how things come together and explode into a very messy mess. I don't even know how else to say that. You have monsters versus humans, and then you have this question on what it really means to be a monster, what it really means to be a human, and is there any way to redeem yourself? I think that was the biggest struggle in this book, is me wanting a gray area and not really getting presented with one at all. For a lot of things, it was black or white, and it did end how I expected it to end. I'm not sad about it, but part of me wanted a little more. And then I picked up Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I don't know if I really need to explain this story at all. I liked it a lot. The end. This is one of my favorite of the series, and I really liked seeing all the illustrations. Like, all of them. They're so pretty. So that's that, I guess. And finally, last but not least, I picked up Hood by Stephen R. Lawhead. This is a retelling of Robin Hood as set in Wales. I really tried to get into this story. Maybe it's because I don't have enough connection with the Robin Hood story. I do enjoy Robin Hood, but something in this just didn't hold my attention. It felt very slow, it felt really dry. I didn't care about any of the characters at all. Part of me just wanted it to be over. So yes, I will not be continuing on with this series. So those were the books that I read for the last half of December. I still can't believe that the year is over. That happened really, really fast, but I'm excited about 2018. Tell me down below what your favorite read of the year is, and I heart your beautiful faces. Bye.